Rahim. Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sabiha and I'm one of the MCs for this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthems of the State of Kuwait and the Republic of India. Half a century ago, they say, a great tradition began that day, alive and thriving till this day. We smile and hold our head to full height. We celebrate those 50 years with pride. We share with you this golden day. We welcome you to the 50th Engineers Day. Assalamu alaikum. Once again, good evening, namaskar. Welcome one and all to this grand celebration hosted by the Institution of Engineers, India Kuwait chapter, an institution serving mankind in general and engineers in particular. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are gathered to remember that son who made India proud. We are gathered to pay homage to that giant amongst men. We are gathered to commemorate the life and times of Bharat Ratna Shri M. Visvesvaraya. As I call the dignitaries to the podium, I leave you to mull over a great piece of advice associated with Sir Visvesvaraya. He says, and I quote, "Remember, your work may be to sweep a railway crossing, but it is your duty to keep it so clean that no other crossing in the world is as clean as yours." Unquote. I now request II Chairman Engineer Ajay Sharma to escort Honorable Shri Rajgopal Singh, Deputy Chief of Mission, Indian Embassy, Kuwait, to the dais. II General Secretary Engineer Thomas John, please escort our Chief Guest, Honorable Engineer Muhammad Bushairi, Under Secretary, Ministry of Electricity and Water. Ex-officio Chairman Dr. Rumane, please escort our guest of honor, Engineer Ahmed Al-Marshad, Under Secretary, Ministry of State for the National Assembly and the Deputy Chairman of the Voluntary Works Center. II Treasurer, Engineer Sudhir Meghani, please escort keynote speaker Dr. Samira Omar, Director General, Kuwait Institute for Scientific Research. Ex-officio General Secretary, Engineer Rishabh, Okay. II Chairman Engineer Masih Zaidi, please escort Theme Article Speaker Mr. Shrikant Pandurangi, Associate Director WSP Parson, Brickenhorf, Kuwait. Dr. Rumane, please. Can you escort Engineer Ali Abdullah Al-Failakawi, Treasurer, Kuwait Society of Engineers, to the podium? We now present our dignitaries with universal tokens of happiness, delight, and welcome. Fresh, fragrant flowers. The dignitaries on the podium will be presented with fresh bouquets of flowers. We also take this opportunity to acknowledge, with flowers of course, the presence in our midst of Honorable Shri Anup Singh, Second Secretary, Indian Embassy, Kuwait. Our very special guest, Dr. Manaf Bahani, Faculty of Science, Kuwait University. Engineer Fadil Abul Hassan, Office Bearer, IEEE, one of our former keynote speakers at Engineers Day. We acknowledge the support of our diamond sponsors and appreciate the presence of their representatives in our midst. But before I go on to them, we would like to appreciate our platinum sponsors, Messrs. Trade Links International Limited of Nippon Elevators fame. We welcome and thank Mr. Wilson Varghese, their Group CEO, for joining us today. On to the diamond sponsors. We thank Engineer Rajan Peters, Sales Director, Messrs. Kuwait Electrical Wiring Accessories Company. Engineer Muhammad Musad, Messrs. Climac SRL Italy. Engineer Ashraf Hamdi, Messrs. Al Ahliya Integrated General Trading and Contracting Company. Engineer Khalid Jalil Al-Qatani, Messrs. Al-Ghanim Engineering General Trading Company. May the fragrance of each of these flowers linger on long after we part ways. Moving on to our formal and traditional Indian inauguration, lighting the inaugural lamp. For the benefit of people belonging to other nationalities, in Indian culture, lighting the inaugural lamp is about creating an ambience of energy and positivity in the surroundings. I request Honorable Shri Rajgopal Singh, Deputy Chief of Mission, Indian Embassy, Kuwait, to lead, and I request the dignitaries on the dais and also our sponsors, Platinum as well as Diamond, to join him around the lamp. I now invite Engineer Ajay Sharma, Chairman II Kuwait Chapter, to welcome this August gathering.
Good evening. On behalf of II members, Executive Committee, it is my privilege and honor to welcome all the luminaries present on the stage, distinguished diplomats, guests from the press, our valued sponsors, our friends from Arab Organization Headquarter Building, who year after year allow us to host our functions here, fellow engineers, colleagues at the EC, ladies and gentlemen. We are honored to welcome Mr. Rajgopal Singh, Deputy Chief of Mission, Embassy of India to the state of Kuwait. We thank you, sir, for finding time and coming and doing our inauguration. We'll take this opportunity to thank His Excellency Mr. Sunil Jain, who was our previous ambassador and our patron, for helping our activities and for guiding us. We are delighted to welcome Engineer Mohammed Al-Bushari, Under Secretary, Ministry of Electricity and Water, and our chief guest for the evening. Sir, you run electricity, you provide electricity to our lives, and we know how valuable your time is. So we are really honored and delighted with your presence here.
We provide work everywhere.
You provide us life, not just electricity and water. Thank you. We are blessed to welcome our guide and mentor, Engineer Ahmed Al-Murshid. Sir, you live in our hearts. We are grateful to you for all your support. No, there is no blood. You take out the blood, it will say Ahmed Al-Murshid. We are energized by presence of Dr. Samira Al-Umar, Director General of KISR. Madam, we are proud of KISR's innovations and the place it holds among world's leading research institutions today under your able guidance and leadership. Thank you. We are privileged to welcome our second keynote speaker, Engineer Shrikant Pandurangi, Associate, Parsons Birkenhoff. Sir, we look forward to sharing your knowledge. We are delighted to welcome Mr. Ali Al-Falakawi, Treasurer of Kuwait Society of Engineers. Thank you, Mr. Falakawi, and Kuwait Society of Engineers for hosting us and for being a continuous source of interaction, looking after the interests of various engineering activities in the state of Kuwait. We are grateful to Mr. Abdul Latif Ahmed, Director General of Organization Headquarter Building, not only for his vision and for providing this monumental venue, but also for enlightening and guiding our members through his interaction. We would like to thank him and his team led by Engineer Osama Wanas. We are happy to welcome Dr. Manaf Bebahani. Sir, you are not our second line of defense. You are our first line of happiness. We remember your energetic and cheerful anecdotes, and in few words, you tell us philosophy of life. So we are grateful to you. Thank you for all this wonderful applause. May I also request you to help me thank our sponsors, our platinum sponsor, Nippon, represented by Mr. Wilson Varghese, and diamond sponsors led by Mr. Rajan Peter of KEC, Mr. Subbarao of CLIMAC, Mr. Ashraf Hamdi of Al-Ghanim Engineering, I messed up. Did I? I did. Al-Ahliya. And Mr. Khalid Jalil Al-Qahtani of Al-Ghanim Engineering. Now, I took care of everyone, starting from the stage right up to the sponsors. But we could not have this wonderful function if my colleagues at IAI, EC did not work hard, and if all people present here did not spare their time. So please, a big applause for everyone present here. Just on a footnote, what we are doing today, we are celebrating and remembering, commemorating the birth anniversary of Sir Dr. Bharat Ratna. I don't know how many more titles, but a great visionary who inspired and continues to inspire 1.25 billion people into providing to the country their best. We want to thank the rulers of our foster country, Kuwait, and friendly Kuwaiti people for the opportunity to express our skills and hope to expand our age-old ties, praying for the health and well-being of all living beings in the universe. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Ajay, for that electricity-charged warm welcome. Anniversaries, a time to celebrate the joys of today, the memories of yesterday, and the hopes of tomorrow. As you know, the Kuwait chapter of the Institution of Engineers was established way back in November of 1995. I invite past chairman, Engineer Joseph Panikkar, to share with us the journey travelled since.
Dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, fellow engineers and guests, good evening to you all. India is the only country setting apart a day for engineers to celebrate Engineers' Day. A theme of national or international interest or importance is selected and deliberated in all the states, centers and local centers all over India and 5 overseas chapters abroad. From the year of inception of IA Kuwait chapter in the year 1995 onward, we were celebrating Engineers' Day in Kuwait. It is evident that over the period, IA Engineers' Day has become one of the renowned technical events among Indian engineers in Kuwait, which is celebrated with its vigor and glamour. Eminent speakers of national and international fame are chosen to be our chief guests and keynote speakers. The executive committee has rightfully decided to extract glimpses of IA activities and IA activities and IA Kuwait chapter activities. Let me start the presentation. In this juncture, it is worth informing this August gathering that Engineers Day celebration in Kuwait was never halted or discontinued. Once again, I profusely thank all our dignitaries and guests for their overwhelming support to IA Kuwait chapter and for the careful listening of this presentation. Thank you, everybody.
Wow, nostalgic flashbacks. I love them, don't you? Thank you, Engineer Joseph. May IEI Kuwait chapter's service to society continue to grow. Now I request Honorable Shri Rajgopal Singh, Deputy Chief of Mission, Indian Embassy, Kuwait, to present the inaugural address.
Good evening, Excellencies, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen. It is my great privilege and pleasure to extend my heartiest greetings and well wishes to all the engineers on the occasion of 50th Engineers Day celebration in memory of Bharat Ratna, Sir M. Visvesvaraya, an outstanding engineer, statesman of India. The Institution of Engineers India is the first professional body to represent India in several international bodies. It also has bilateral agreements with a number of professional societies across the globe. India and Kuwait enjoy long relationship in all the fields. Our engineers are involved in the development and implementation of Kuwaiti projects. It is heartening to see that IEI Kuwait chapter has been closely associated with Kuwait Society of Engineers, various ministries, voluntary work centers, Kuwait Science Club, Environmental Protection Society, private organizations, businesses, and various other organizations. IEI has always been responsible and diligent in selecting its theme for the Engineers Day, which is very relevant to the world community at large and thought-provoking for engineers. This year's theme is Role of Engineers in a Developing India. Engineers have obligations and responsibilities towards society, and they play a big role in development of their country in all the fields of engineering. I wish the technical cooperation between Indian engineers and Kuwait engineers would generate development of the economies and build a strong relationship and friendship between our two great nations. I take this opportunity to thank IEI and the dignitaries for giving me this opportunity to be part of this great Engineers Day celebrations. Thank you very much and Jai Hind.
Many thanks, Honorable Shri Rajgopal Singh, for the highly encouraging and inspiring inaugural address. I request Chairman Engineer Ajay to present a memento of thanks to the Deputy Chief of Mission, Indian Embassy. Next in line, we have the souvenir release. I request our chief guest to release this year's souvenir. Engineer Sharma, please can you hand over the souvenir packet to Engineer Busheri, our chief guest? I request our chief guest to release this year's souvenir and hand over the first copy to Honorable Shri Rajgopal Singh. The journey since November 1995 was not travelled alone. II Kuwait chapter is blessed with staunch supporters and special friends. One amongst them is really special. He supports many of our activities. He mentors and guides us. He counsels us and provides us with unique volunteering opportunities. He helps us coordinate and liaise with chief guests, speakers for major events like this evening's. You know, I refer to none other than, I'd like to hear it from the crowd. Whom do you think I'm referring to? Yes, I refer to none other than Engineer Ahmed Al-Marshad, the Undersecretary to the Ministry of State for the National Assembly and the Deputy Chairman of the Voluntary Work Center. We request Indian Embassy Deputy Chief of Mission and our Chairman, Engineer Ajay Sharma, to honor this great personality. I request ex officio Chairman Dr. Abdul Razak Rumane, past Chairman Engineer Joseph Panikar, Engineer Syed Masih Zaidi, in fact, all the past presidents on the floor, please, could you all join?
Our Indian way of honoring the elder of the family.
Do you know, if we had a flower for every time we fondly thought of you, II Kuwait chapter would have had a flower garden way bigger than this hall. I now request Chief Guest Engineer Mohammed Bushairi, Under Secretary Ministry of Electricity and Water, to address the gathering.
First of all, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Frankly talking, I'm so honored. It's my pleasure to be with you in this fantastic celebrating. And also for me, it's the first time being at this fantastic building, so thank you. You gave me a good chance to be here and see this building. I'm pleased to know that Institution of Engineers India Kuwait chapter is celebrating the 50th Engineers Day. I congratulate Indian engineers on this occasion. This year's theme, Role of Engineers for Development, is very important to make awareness among engineers to fulfill their commitment towards the society and implementation of projects. I appreciate the contribution of Indian engineers in execution of MEW projects during past several years. I wish success for this event, and thanks a lot.
Thank you, Engineer Bushairi, for joining us today. I request Honorable Shri Rajgopal Singh to felicitate the Chief Guest on our behalf. We request our Chief Guest, Engineer Mohammed Bushairi, to present mementos to our platinum sponsors, Mr. Wilson Varghese of Trade Links International Limited, the local sponsors of Nippon Elevators, and And to our diamond sponsors, Engineer Mohammed Musad, Mrs. Climac SRL Italy, Engineer Ashraf Hamdi, Mrs. Al Ahliya Integrated General Trading and Contracting Company, Mr. Sufyan Khan from Mrs. Al Ghanim Engineering General Trading Company, we await the presence of Mr. Rajan Peter to felicitate him. As and when he comes, we'll be doing it. There is a request, and I'm sure there is no need to request. Our chief guest has some pressing engagements to take care of. He will be leaving us soon. So, of course, we welcome him for the next event with a warm round of applause.
I would like to thank His Excellency, the Undersecretary for the Ministry of Electricity and Water, for showing up here for this event, even though the whole family is waiting for him, as today is the birth date of his daughter, Hiba.
We are really honored to have had chief guests grace this occasion. Engineer Faisal Al-Atel, the president of Kuwait Society of Engineers, was not able to attend in person, but there is a message he wants to share with us. Engineer Sam, please.
دور المهندسين في تحقيق التنمية، وبهذه المناسبة نسأل المهندسين الأوائل الذين شاركوا مع الذين سبقونا في بناء الكويت خلال القرن الماضي وخلال مستقبلنا القادم. وبعضهم لا يزال مستمرا في عمله، وندعو الله أن يمد بعمر من بقى منهم ويديم عليهم الصحة والعافية ويرحم من فقدنا منهم. فقد كان لزملائنا المهندسين الجنود دورا بارزا في الارتقاء بالعمل الهندسي وبأداء المهنة الهندسية من خلال عملهم في القطاعين الخاص والعام. زملاء كما تعلمون وقد توجد تعاون بين جمعيه المهندسين الكويتيه ونظرتها للجمهوريه الهنديه لافتتاح فرع جمعيه المهندسين الجنود العاملين بدوله الكويت في العام 1995، وتوالى التعاون والتنسيق بيننا وشاركنا معكم في المؤتمرات الهندسيه الكليه التي عقدت في جمهوريه الهند الصديقه في السنه الماضيه، وطورنا هذا التعاون واليوم بين زملائكم في جمعيه المهندسين الكويتيه. وبهذه المناسبه يجب نحرصهم على استمرار هذا التعاون والانطلاق به الى افاق اكثر خاصه في مجال اعتماد الشهاده الهندسيه ومنح قسم مزاوله بنا من خلال الجمعيه لتلبيه احتياجات المتطلبات سوق العمل الهندسي في الكويت والهند على هذه السواء. سعاده السكرتير وزملاء رسول الله، ان التحديات المحليه التي نشهدها في عالم تسارع التكنولوجيا تتطلب منا مزيدا من التعاون خاصه في مجالات تبادل الخبرات والاطلاع على التحديات الهندسيه وتطوير مزاوله المهنه في بلدين السعوديه. ولا بد من استمرار تبادل المعلومات بشكل سريع في مجال المؤهلات الهندسيه في بلدينا. متطلبات سوق العمل تحتاج الى المزيد من المهارات الهندسيه، ونحن نعتقد اننا معكم يمكن ان نكون ايضا مفتاحا رئيسيا لتاسيس نظام الصداقه بين بلدينا في مختلف المجالات، وينتشرون في كافه المجالات وانواع الاعمال الحكوميه والخاصه على حد سواء. ختاما، ان زملائنا في جمعيه المهندسين الكويتيه يتقدمون لكم ببالغ التقدير والاحترام بهذه المناسبه، ويتمنون لكم مزيدا من التوفيق ويأملون بالمزيد من الإخلاص والتفاؤل بالعمل بالكويت بلد المحبة والسلام، وكانت ولا زالت إن شاء الله تعالى مشرعة الأبواب لكل المخلصين والمبدعين في أعمالهم، وأنتم في طليعة الحال في أهل المبدعين. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Your Excellency Ambassador of India to Kuwait, Mr. Sonny Jain, dear colleague Mr. Adar Sharma, Chairman of the Indian Chapter of Kuwait, on my behalf and behalf of my colleagues in Kuwait Site Engineers, I would like to extend my sincere congratulations to you all on your 50th anniversary of the Engineers Day in the Federal Republic of India, which we are celebrating this year under the name Award of Engineers in Development. On this occasion, we will call together the first engineers who participated with our predecessors to build up today Kuwait City. During the last century, some of them are still with their work, and we are extraordinarily praying to Allah to extend their life and keep them well and safe, and have mercy upon the souls of those who have lost our Indian engineers have played a remarkable role in the progress of the engineering field and the engineering profession throughout their work in both governmental and private sectors. The professional challenges that we are witnessing in the accelerated world of technology requires more cooperation from both sides, especially exchanging experience, access to the latest engineering technologies, and the development of the profession in both of our countries. And there is a must continue exchanging of the knowledge rapidly in the field of engineering qualification between our countries. The job market needs more skilled engineers, and we do believe that we can both be a main key to enhance the friendship between our countries in different fields, because the engineers are present and well spread in several fields in the many governmental jobs and private ones at the same time. In this occasion, your colleagues in Kuwait Society of Engineers are very appreciative and respectful to you all. They call for you more devotion and dedication to work, because Kuwait is a country of peace and love. It was and still opening its doors to all the faithful and innovative in their work, and you are at the forefront of this category of innovators. Thank you.
We take this opportunity to thank Engineer Failakawi, Treasurer of the Kuwait Society of Engineers, for joining us this evening. Please, Engineer Failakawi, do thank KSE President for the congratulatory words and the encouraging words on our behalf. I request Shri Rajgopal Singh, Chairman, to present Engineer Failakawi with a memento to remember us by. I also request Honorable Shri Rajgopal Singh Ji to present a memento to Engineer Fawaz Mustafa Al-Hajj Ali of Arab Organization Headquarters Department. Thank you, Engineer Fawaz, for your continued support. Every year, the Institution of Engineers India deliberates on a theme of national relevance and importance. The theme zeroed in on this year is Role of Engineers for Development. Before I call the first keynote speaker to share her views on this theme, I would like to introduce her to you. Dr. Samira Omar, the Director General of KISR, Kuwait Institute for Scientific Research, holds a PhD in Wildland Resource Science from the University of California, Berkeley. She has led many projects to conserve biodiversity, restore ecosystems and promote sustainable agriculture in Kuwait. She is also a research fellow at the World Academy of Sciences, acronym TWAS, for the advancement of science in the developing countries. She is the recipient of numerous honors and awards. However, what is really remarkable is the fact that she has a prize named after her, the TWAS Samira Omar Innovation for Sustainability Prize. This prize presents cash awards to scientists from least developed countries working in the field of sustainability. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Dr. Samira Omar on the mic.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor for me to join you in this celebration for your anniversary, Your Excellency, and distinguished speakers and honored guests. I'm very proud to be part of this celebration and to join you in the 50th anniversary and share this feeling with you, because we have also our celebration at KISR, at Kuwait Institute for Scientific Research. I have been honored by His Highness the Emir of Kuwait to patronage our celebration day. This shows how important is research and development for the country of Kuwait. And I'm pleased to say that we have about 350 Indian members and scientists in the Institute. Some of them already are here, and they have been honored also by the Engineering Society, and I appreciate their participation in this very important gathering. Actually, I thought in my presentation, if you may allow me, very quickly, I give you a background information about the Institute. And this, I think, it will enhance and deepen our relationship if we get to know each other more and more in respect to development. We're talking about engineers, the role of engineers in development. And I think KISR is a good example to show this role. And what I would like to do is to give you a background about KISR mission and the KISR strategic program that we have. Very briefly, that KISR was established in 1967 as an offset interest in collaboration with a Japanese company, which was at that time interested in excavating and drilling for production of oil. So there was an offset agreement between the government of Kuwait to establish Kuwait Institute for Scientific Research at that time. And KISR was established started very small, with focus on agriculture, petroleum research, and mainly in the marine ecosystem fisheries. KISR then expanded and became more and more interested in the collaboration at the international level, to be recognized as an R&D institution and to contribute to development of science, technology, and innovation at different levels of serving different types of sectors, like the petroleum, water resources, and energy and building. What we have principles and basics in developing our strategic program that relate into strong collaboration with the clients by being meeting the requirements and services and needs of the clients. So we do business and our services is more custom oriented to their needs. And achieving global technological leadership and a balance of national, international, academic, and commercial objectives that set KISR apart. The interest of KISR to move into commercialization has been recently developed because for 50 years we developed a lot of products, knowledge, and know-how that is ready to be marketed and commercialized. And setting up knowledge centers, and these are centers of excellence that are being recognized by international and collaboration institutions. And we have programs that is established specifically every 5 years. We change our programs based on our national needs. Kisar has established a very good facility and almost 80 laboratories that spread all over the country to provide services very close to the beneficiaries and the stakeholders. And in relation to petroleum and water resources, at the same time, environment and conservation of this important marine and terrestrial ecosystem, and a development in agriculture and renewable energy. And engineers work in these sectors very closely with the scientists to develop the programs and relating into technology development or product development to serve all kinds of stakeholders' needs, whether in the electricity or the infrastructure, in the Ministry of Public Health, or in even the private sector, to have very close collaboration. And I just quickly go over like for the petroleum sector, and we have refinery capacity with the relationship with the KOC and KPC. They are very strongly with strong ties and strategic partnership that we are now in a process of developing up to year 2040. So Kisar has alliances with the KPC. Of course, we have extensive experience in development of polymers and in customizing programs, improving oil recovery and corrosion experience to reduce costs of maintenance of these pipes and to help KOC in improving their productivities. The water resource is extremely important. We developed our engineers, and a lot of them are Indians, to find solutions for water treatment, especially for desalination water. As you know, this technology has been well established at the commercial level, and we produce now a local water called Karma, and it's now in the process of commercialization. At the same time, waste water treatment, the largest waste treatment plant is in Solebia, and now it is operated by the Ministry of Public Works. However, the design and the construction of this was under the Kisar supervision and involvement from the beginning. Of course, we help in the developing procedure and technology for strategic conservation of groundwater resources by artificial recharge, which is a new approach that we are testing with our engineers at an area located in Kaf. And this is because we have very limited resources as fresh water and groundwater, and it's worth to consider conserving it for future needs. We look at the environmental sciences well established and the largest scientific center in the organization in Kisar, and it has developed several programs, and maybe the coastal management, we have our Dr. Senior Scientist joining us today. We look at the environmental pollution, coastal management, ecosystem-based management in the marine resources, and desert agriculture and ecosystems, crisis decision support tool, and food and nutrition and biotechnology. There's a lot of modeling and forecasting of also any possibilities for water pollution that we help the government in taking action with the decision makers support tools. And we have energy and building, which is very important in contributing to supporting the government within renewable energy for solar energy, wind energy, and this is now established in Ashigaya. And this Ashigaya now considered the only source now for 70 megawatt energy, and to support the government as phase one. And we're planning to expand even more up to year 2030 to 2,000 megawatt. And this will come as phase 2 and phase 3 in the near future. Of course, the energy looks at energy efficiency in buildings, and we have very strong collaboration with international institutions to develop a model of homes and houses utilizing minimum energy, however, a very efficient source for cooling and for lighting. And nanotechnology is very recent, but we have developed products that has been published and received patents in this area, and it is going to be, it has been published in Nature journal, which is very famous. And we have our resources, as I said, are depending on our human resources, and we have 20 nationalities in the institute, but mostly Kuwaitis, and 81% of the Kuwaitis. 200 out of these PhD holders and 150 masters. KISAR, of course, provide to enhance the capability of manpower, send them on scholarship for gaining their PhD and master degrees. Our facilities, as I mentioned, extend all over Kuwait, and we have the petroleum sector in Ahmadi. We have our facility in Salmiya for aquaculture and fisheries. We have the research for desert research, and of course the headquarters in Shuwaykh. And we have Salabiya areas, and we have vessels. We do R&D. This is just to show the facility and research facility in different locations in Ahmadi and in Salabiya. And we have the Doha plant for production of fresh water from coastal groundwater. As I mentioned, the KISAR has very much interest to collaborate at the regional, national, and international level. And we have through leadership in all these sectors, we establish our relationship good at the national level with research institutions, universities, and also lots of ministries and the private sector. And we have at the regional level excellent collaboration. Even the region, the Gulf region, utilize our facility, our vessels for monitoring the marine ecosystem and exchange of information, and in the aquaculture technology, in the petroleum and water resources and water research. Internationally, we have very strong memorandum of understanding with international reputable organization, about 90 memorandum of understanding in Europe and North America and East Asia, and plan to expand in Africa now and Latin America and Australia. And international preparation of activities, a lot of this based on our interest with the top universities and institutions like NASA and IBM and Harvard University, MIT collaboration, IAEA. KISAR is a focal point for IAEA and many others in the world. Because of our interest to support the government in the national planning and development of facility and human resources, KISAR has been awarded 23 projects to develop its own capabilities up to year for the strategic program up to year 2020. And we are expanding in this, which an amount is about $1 billion paid by the government and to run this project. We have a unique approach in, we welcome this collaboration, especially with the Indian engineers. As I mentioned, we have 350, a lot of them are engineers. They run the institute. They have been working for more than 30 years in the institute. And I appreciate all this relationship, a partnership with all our stakeholders and our international institutions. I thank you for listening to us.
Good evening. This is Sujata Ilangovan signing in. Let me first thank Madam Samira for highlighting various research programs and strategies for development through KISA Strategy 2030. Now, I request Honorable Shri Rajgopal Singh, Deputy Chief of Mission, Indian Embassy, to present a memento to Madam Samira. Thank you, sir, for doing the honor. Now, it's time to honor our executive committee members for the year 2016-2017 for their relentless service to IEI. I request our guest of honor, Engineer Agamed Al-Marshad, to do the honors of presenting the mementos to the office bearers of Executive Committee for the year 2016-2017 as a token of appreciation for their excellent job of organizing different programs of IEI Kuwait chapter. May I request all concerned engineers to come on to the dais to receive the memento. Ex-Chairman Dr. Abdul Rasak Rumani, Ex-General Secretary Engineer Rishabnath Jain, Ex-Treasurer Engineer Sam Anand Kumar, thank you, Engineer, for honoring our office bearers. Engineer Shrikant Pandurangi, Associate Director, Transport Planning, WSP, Parson Brinkerhoff, Kuwait, is involved in the transportation planning projects in Kuwait. He did his Masters of Science in Civil Engineering from University of South Florida and has been involved in quite a lot of research and development programs. Let me welcome Engineer Shrikant Pandurangi to deliver his keynote address.
Hi, good evening everyone. Today's theme is about application of traffic models for planning of transportation infrastructure improvements in Kuwait. The main outline is what is really a traffic model, what are the basics, and what are the types of traffic models that we can use in planning of this infrastructure improvements, what are the main applications of these traffic models or the benefits, and how the existing and future conditions are going to be forecasted using these models is the main outline of the presentation today. Let me start with the country overview. Kuwait's current population is 4.5 million approximately, citizens at 1.4 million and expatriates around 3.1 million. 2030 population is forecasted at 6.5 millions. Very high automobile dependency now, which is causing heavy congestion in the peak periods. Majority of bus users currently are low-income employees. Unattractive bus services are one of the reasons. Then moving on to traffic model basics. What is really a traffic model? It's built on a software platform. It's nothing but a mathematical model that can represent and analyze travel patterns of a region or a city. In specifically investigate traffic problems, congestion problems, identify the solutions and plan for future systems. It requires complex data, large amounts of data. Building the model is a very complex thing, and it is at the same time, once it is built, it can be used as a key decision support tool for informing the traffic engineers and transportation engineers. This is the type of traffic models. We have two types mainly, a demand model and a microsimulation model. What is the demand model? Demand model is nothing but a macroscopic model which describes entities and their activities in the system and interactions at a very lower level of detail, that is like a city level or a regional level. Simulation model and the same time it's a different one. It's more microscopic. We can analyze a corridor or an intersection or an interchange at a more higher level of detail. The main software platforms used in Kuwait are Visum and Vizim. Let me start with demand modeling. What is actually involved in the demand modeling? It is a 4-step process. How many trips are being made by the people living in the country or a region or a city, and where will these trips will be going? That is covered under trip distribution. What modes they will be using, like car or a bus or a metro if it is available, that's a mode split, and which routes they will be taking, the corridors, expressways, highways, arterials and so on. Existing traffic patterns can be measured using the base models by calibrating and validating the data using the observed data from the field. Future traffic models mainly provide forecast traffic conditions. In Kuwait, municipality is custodian of these traffic models, and they are using this as a key decision support tool. This actually shows the plot of existing traffic conditions in Kuwait. The congested expressways, we can see the network in red, radial expressways during the peak hour, creating bottleneck situations, and this is causing or resulting in high travel times during the peak period. And when we go to forecast conditions, the model results show even more red areas with high trip lengths coming from the south leading towards Kuwait City. The trips are expected to be doubled by 2030 in the forecast model. This is mainly because of the regional expansion and the population growth and also the new developments that are being approved. And this is creating a oversaturated conditions. So this model can be used to plan where the congestion is occurring and to plan for future road improvements or infrastructure improvements. So this slide shows the applications of traffic models. What are the main applications of traffic models? To use it in strategic planning, master planning, evaluation of various planning scenarios, and evaluation of future road improvements to identify where the roads needs to be improved, and traffic demand management measures and TSM supply measures. It can be used. Also, it's applied to estimate patronage of future public transport system like metro. What will be the patronage? It can be estimated using the traffic model. Emissions and air quality is another key item that is that can be that is an output from the traffic model, which is another beneficial factor. And key performance indicators like traffic operations, level of service, delays can be also pulled from the model. Also, it gives opportunity to simulate the real world traffic conditions on your desktop. This is the future road improvements planned by Minister of Public Works in Kuwait. Upgrading of existing facilities and some of the new facilities. Approximately 750 kilometers of expressways are being planned for upgrading, and some of these new facilities are part of regional road system, and heavy investments in road-based infrastructure. Similarly, on the public transport side, Kuwait is planning for rapid transit system metro lines. We have 10 metro lines that are being planned, and there are like 64 metro stations. 45 of them are regular and 19 are park and ride stations. The future mode share during the peak hours is estimated as 10% in the traffic models at the moment for 2030 conditions. And this metro also offers integration with GCC International Railway connections to GCC countries. This one shows the proposed metro system, all the lines plotted in this map. Next section is about microsimulation models. Microsimulation models, like I mentioned earlier, is about traffic operations to see how the movements or the queues, spillbacks, any operational details can be measured directly in the field by creating the real world scenario on the desktop. So it gives a tracking of individual vehicle movements on a second to second basis And we can model driver behavior parameters like aggressive drivers can be easily modeled and replicated on the software. We can measure queue lengths. Also, we can create 3D animations, videos of the peak hour conditions to study or evaluate the traffic operations. Also, it gives valuable journey time data. This one is applications of microsimulation model. Mainly, it's used for operations of freeways and arterials. We can measure key performance indicators, level of service, traffic signal coordination. We can use the microsimulation model to have signal progression that provides green along the corridor without any delays or minimizing delays. Also, it's useful in traffic impacts analysis of new developments. Public transport operations can also be measured using this microsimulation model. Traffic management schemes like during the construction detours can be evaluated easily using the microsimulation model. And also it offers simulation of pedestrians, public transport stations, how the pedestrians are moving and what is the level of service for pedestrians. So in summary, we have demand models is a software tools aids in planning and design of future transportation infrastructure improvements. And simulation models is mainly dealing with traffic operations at a microscopic level, and both models are useful tools for traffic and transportation engineers in identifying and planning of future transportation network improvements. So thank you very much for the opportunity to present here today.
Traffic congestion is one of the major problems right now in Kuwait, and we are facing it on day-to-day basis. Hope Engineer Srikanth Pandurangi and his company's planning would help in a great way to ease these problems. Thank you, sir. Now, I request Honorable Shri Rajagopal Singh, Deputy Chief of Mission, Indian Embassy, to present a memento to the second keynote speaker, Engineer Srikanth Pandurangi. Thank you, sir. Every year, Institution of Engineers of India conducts a competition for engineering fraternity on the theme of the year, and the theme entries submitted are evaluated by a panel of judges. The winner of the theme article for this year is Dr. Neelamani. May I request Honorable Shri Rajagopal Singh, Deputy Chief of Mission, Indian Embassy, to present a memento to the theme article winner, Dr. Neelamani. Thank you, sir, for doing the honor. Engineer Ahmed Al-Marshad is now requested to present mementos to our committee members of 2016-2017, and we request our committee members to come forward to receive the same. Engineer Thomas John, Engineer Sudhir Mengani, Engineer Mohandas Kamath. I think he is not available. Engineer Ramana. Engineer Ashok Kumar. Thank you, sir. As our IAI President, Engineer Ajay Sharma remarked, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, which means He who is the creator, He who is the protector, He who is the destroyer is the mentor. A truly great mentor is hard to find, difficult to part with, and impossible to forget. So it's our mentor's time now, and I request Engineer Ahmed Al-Marshid, Under Secretary, Minister of State, National Assembly, Kuwait, Deputy Chairman, Voluntary Works Center, to address the gathering.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, assalamu ala Rasulullah. Engineer Abdul Razak Romani tells me that as he goes through all the books released in the past maybe 12 years, he have seen a change in my picture in 12 years. So I asked him, is this a compliment or what? I don't know. In this year book, I have written that being an engineer is something good, and being an Indian engineer is even wonderful. So you have to be proud. On my way coming to this event, of course I wasn't driving, but I had the privilege of sitting in the back seat and looking at this ad paper, because my satellite equipment was defective and I was looking for somebody to fix it. As I went through this, I found out so many companies, they put their ads on this paper, but they have written in big words that we have Indian technician, Indian technician, Indian technician, Indian technician. So you became a brand of quality. So you have to be proud of yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Ahmed Al-Marshid, for your stimulating and encouraging message to our Indian engineers. Now, I request Dr. Manaf Behbani to present mementos to our ex-committee members, and may I request our members to come forward to receive them. Engineer Ravi Shankar, Engineer Abdul Razak Patel, I think he is not available. Engineer Karthikeyan, Engineer Anup Kurian, and last but not the least, our auditor, Engineer Inbathamal Ilangovan. May I now request Dr. Manaf Behbani to say a few words to the gathering.
Assalamu alaikum, namaste. I wish I could say I'm happy to be here, because I much prefer to be with my wife. Anyway, Mr. Singh, Your Excellency, Mr. Sharma, guests, honorable guests, friends, I'm very happy to be here tonight. I'm especially happy to see my student, Dr. Samira Umar, succeed in her profession. You know, in order to succeed in any country, you really need to know the language. And I think you people are very lucky that we speak English here in Kuwait. Otherwise, I think you will not achieve as much success as you have achieved, believe me. Now, let me just make you listen to a communication between an Indian man and his boss, his kafil, when the earthquake took place. Anyway, let me tell you some stories. The engineers, when they go to school, they also learn how to be honest and not to cheat. Is that true or no? How many of you have practiced cheating? No, okay, no problem. But do you know that last year, about 15,000 engineers got divorced because of cheating. It's supposed to be a joke. You don't get divorced because of cheating in India? Anyway, there was this mullah, you know mullahs? Yeah. This mullah was sitting in the bus, and next to him a beautiful lady came and sat. The bus just moved a little bit, the lady touched the mullah. Mullah said, Astaghfirullah. Again, next time he touched the mullah said, La ilaha illallah. The third time was a big move, and the lady came in his lap. And then he said, Alhamdulillah. There were 3 men were sentenced to death. So on the day of execution, they brought them and they said there are 3 ways of execution. You can choose one. There's the guillotine, the hanging, and shooting. The first one, what do you want? He said guillotine. So they put him on the guillotine, they lowered the guillotine got stuck. Something wrong with it. So they said, okay, you are free to go. They asked the next guy, what do you want? He said, the guillotine. So they put him in the guillotine and he was saved. They asked the third guy, what do you want? He said, I want shooting. He said, why? He said, are you stupid? Don't you see it's not working? In scientific research, since Dr. Samira is here, one of the basics of scientific research is to conduct what we call controlled experiments, based on hypotheses, based on setting up very strict conditions and writing down your observations. There was this scientist who was experimenting with a frog. He brought the frog, he put a line for the frog, placed the frog on the line, and he said to the frog, jump. So the frog jumps. He gets a measure, tape, and he measures and he writes down, the frog with 4 legs jumps 2 meters. He cut one of the legs. Frog jumped. And the frog jumped 1.5 meters. So he writes down. Cuts the second leg and the third leg. And he writes every time. Then he cuts the 4th leg. And he asks the frog to jump. Frog jump. Frog jump. Frog jump. The frog is not jumping. He writes down, with 4 legs cut, the frog does not hear. Okay. So, I'm really happy to be here with you. I was lying the first time when I said I'm not happy. I wish you all success, continuous success. My family have forgotten my birthdays now, since I'm getting old, and they get tired of my birthdays, too many. So I have a suggestion, because you invite me every year, I think I'm going to bring my cake here, my birthday cake, and we'll celebrate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We thoroughly enjoyed your short stories. IEI had requested to send their cover page design for the 50th Engineers Day Souvenir 2017. The cover page design by engineer Thomas John was selected by the team of evaluators and the same has been printed. We request Dr. Manaf Behabani to give away memento as a mark of recognition to engineer Thomas John. We also request Doctor to give away a memento to engineer Noor Mohammed, who was instrumental in designing the Flash Journey Down the Memory Lane. Okay, I'm sorry, I think he has left. Now, thank you, Doctor. Now we are in the final leg of the grandeur. I request our Institution of Engineers of India, Kuwait Chapter's General Secretary, Engineer Thomas John, to present the Secretary's report. Thank you all. This is Sujata signing off.
Thank you so much, Sujata. Good evening, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. Today, with honor, I stand before you who have assembled here for celebrating the 50th year of Engineers Day of Institution of Engineers India, Kuwait Chapter. IEI is the world's largest organization of professional people spread over the whole world and has the motto service to mankind. The world is now following India. India was the first country, as many have pointed out, who had recognized the importance of the role of engineers in the society and had earmarked a day to celebrate the greatest engineers. You might wonder why we are celebrating such days. When we recognize the toil and the labor of our fellow human beings, automatically we get inspired and motivated to achieve greater things. Thus now, Indian engineers have risen to the top of the world and are running many Fortune 500 companies and institutions successfully for years. Now, the world will start celebrating the Engineers Day from next year on March 4th. Before going to my duty, we have to acknowledge the service of the Master of Ceremony of this event, Dr. Sabiha Bilgrami and Mrs. Sujada Ilangovan. I call upon the guest of honor, Engineer Ahmad Al-Marshid, to do the honors and request the Master of Ceremony to receive the same. Honorary Deputy Chief of Mission, Embassy of India, Sri Raj Gopal Singh, representing the Ambassador of India to Kuwait, Honorary Chief Guest, Mohammad Al-Bushayri, Guest of Honor, Engineer Ahmad Al-Marshid, all dignitaries on the dais, esteemed guests, and my dear friends. I express my sincere thanks on behalf of IEI Kuwait Chapter to the Honorary Deputy Chief of Mission, Embassy of India, Sri Raj Gopal Singh, for accepting our invitation and gracing the occasion. We will always remember and thank the former Ambassador to India, Ambassador of India to Kuwait, Sri Sunil Jain, for his unstinting support to IEI Kuwait Chapter. I thank the Honorary Chief Guest, Engineer Mohammad Al-Bushayri, for having graced this occasion and enlightened us with his good words. I take this opportunity to thank Engineer Ahmad Al-Marshad, who have been our pillar of support all these years. Anytime we face a problem and we approach him, he provides the right solution as a great engineer. We are grateful for his presence over here today during his busy schedule. I thank the Kuwait Society of Engineers Chairman, Engineer Faisal Al-Ithal, for his extended support to all our activities. And today he is represented by Engineer Faisal Al-Failakawi. Thank you for coming. We are always thankful to Engineer Abdul Latif Al-Ahmad, Director General and Chairman Board of Directors of Arab Organization, for providing this beautiful venue, which is one of the best buildings in Kuwait, for celebrating our 50th Engineers Day. I thank all the keynote speakers, Dr. Samira Al-Omar, Director General of Kuwait Institute of Scientific Research, Kuwait, Mr. Srikant Pandurangi, Associate Director, Parsons Birkenhoff, Kuwait, for providing us their insights on this year's theme article, Role of Engineers for the Development. I thank Dr. Manaf Al-Bahduhani for his message. I would like to thank our platinum sponsors, Messrs. Nippon Elevators, Japan, represented by Messrs. Trade Links in Kuwait, the diamond sponsors, Messrs. KEC, Kuwait Wiring Accessories Company, Alganim Engineering Company, Climac Italy, and Al-Alaiya Integrated General Trading and Contracting Company. We also thank all our golden, elite, premium and classic sponsors for their continued support for all our activities. I thank all our guests and members from the various ministries, oil sector and other institutions who have made this event a grand success. As you are aware, such a mega event would not have been possible without the hard work and toil of all our executive committee members and support group of Kuwait chapter for many months. I thank all the executive committee members and the support group. I thank the rulers of Kuwait, His Highness the Amir of Kuwait, the Crown Prince of Kuwait, and all the people of Kuwait for their hospitality and support. Above all, I thank God Almighty for His abundance on us. Last but not the least, you members of IEI Kuwait have made this event worth remembering by your presence. Thank you all for celebrating the 50th Engineers Day. Now I request the chief guest and the guests on the dais to remain seated for a few more minutes to capture this wonderful evening in our memories through the group photo with our executive committee members. I also request all the executive committee members to please join us on the dais. Dinner is ready to be served on the mezzanine floor and I request all of you who have assembled over here to join us for dinner. Thank you so much.